Happy New Year to all of the Cellercise family and for all those who are visiting us tonight. My name is Dave Hall, and this evening what I'd like to do is tell you a little bit about the Cellercise program, how it got started, some attributes concerning it, benefits surrounding it, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about some of the different things that you can do to help those that you care about as well. So I'm the creator of Cellercise, a Cellerciser, the tri-adaptable spring design, which is something that you can use for all family members. It's a self-adjusting, tri-adaptable, tapered spring design. The creator of the Mr. Rebounder app and our new monitor, and we're going to be talking a little bit about that tonight too. So why Cellercise, and why is it different? For 30 years now I've been teaching it. It's a 10-minute-a-day routine that I've been doing for 30 years, and it didn't just change my physique and my health and performance. It's been doing the same thing for tens of thousands of people all over the country in different parts of the world. So what makes it different? Well, if you look at typical exercise, for example, weightlifting, you're lifting weight away from gravity, and it's isolated to certain specific muscles or muscle groups. When you apply weight to a bicep, for example, if you're lifting more weight away from gravity, the muscles expanding and contracting over and over, the objective with a lot of weightlifting is to tear down in order to build up. Now I want you to think about that for a moment, because what I'm going to share with you is a whole different methodology of exercise. When you tear down to build up, they tell you to do it every other day because the body literally has to heal itself. When you tear the cell tissue, the body repairs the tears with a patch of proteins. Then you tear the patch, and the body patches a patch. So in the process, you're building bigger muscles, but they're not as healthy a muscle. They're strong, but they can lose flexibility, timing, speed, coordination, and it can be damaging to ligaments and tendons. If you stop to think about it, we're the only species in the world that has bought into that methodology of exercise. You'll never see a dog, cat, monkey, or any other species of animal out there pumping iron weight and doing some of the insane programs you see on TV. Now, I'm not discounting that. If you enjoy doing that, absolutely do it. But it's a manipulation of the body rather than working with the body. So what makes Cellercise different? Well, number one, it doesn't treat the body as muscle groups or body parts. It treats the body collectively as a whole. It literally is a whole body movement or a whole body exercise. Instead of lifting weight away from gravity, we're virtually increasing the weight of gravity. It doesn't matter to a cell. It's still weight. As we're applying that increase of weight on the cell membrane over and over, the cell responds by fortifying its membrane with more protein. It doesn't want to rupture. But that increase of weight is not limited. It's collectively on the entire body. Every muscle, bone, connective tissue, ligament, tendon, skin, collagen, all those are protein fibers. That movement up and down is also applying weight to the fascia. Now that, I believe, is the next step in our evolutionary performance within the sports industry, is the fascia. When people have superhuman strength and they're able to lift a car off of somebody, it's not because of the muscles and the ligaments. There's more that's occurring. And the fascia, which are protein fibers, they work through the entire body. How do you build up and strengthen a fascia? You do Cellercise. Cellercise is weight bearing. Some of you may have seen the superhuman strength and balance test that I did several years ago in front of several thousand people, where I brought people from the audience. You can find it on YouTube. I think it's called the Strength and Balance Test. But I brought a bodybuilder, martial artist, yoga instructor, and several other people from the audience, and I challenged them in their natural strength and balance. They all failed. That's not to say they weren't strong, but the ability to utilize their strength was not nearly what it was after I got them on the Cellerciser for just a few minutes. The strength and balance was night and day difference. In sports and athletics, I suggest every sport, number one, should Cellercise. Here's why. When we stretch, we have a tendency to, we can have a tendency to actually damage muscles and ligaments and tendons as we're attempting to stretch, especially before an athletic activity if we're cold. But when we get on a Cellerciser and we move up and down gently, just gently move up and down for 2, 3, 4 minutes, the cell tissues throughout the entire body are being massaged. We're losing the stress and the tension. We're increasing circulation through the body. Then if you want to stretch, go ahead. But you've warmed up the body through the gentle movement up and down. In addition to that, as we Cellercise for about a month and a half, we become strong in a very balanced state. There's other advantages of the Cellerciser, which I'm going to demonstrate in a moment. Because when we alter the angle of our body in different positions, we leverage body weight to certain specific muscle groups and areas of the body, even though the rest of the body is still working. So the advantages of Cellercise as a weight-bearing exercise is great for bones, for muscles, ligaments, tendons, skin, collagen, but there's more. The movement up and down on the Cellerciser every day acts like an internal scrub brush within the body. It's moving fluid up and down. It's making it easier on the heart. I have an opportunity, and I've had an opportunity, of working with a number of cardiologists because Cellercise makes it easier on the heart, and people that might not otherwise be able to exercise have been able to Cellercise. If you have a medical condition, I always suggest consult with your doctor or have your doctor feel free to give me a call. But the movement up and down makes it easier on the heart. It moves fluid through the one-way valves. It helps backflush valves. It helps get rid of trapped blood proteins. The movement up and down, as it's moving fluid up and down, helps open up capillaries, increase oxygen blood flow to the brain and other areas of the body. So it's a natural increase in circulation through the entire body. When I was doing my business plan years ago, they asked me, they said, David, who's your target audience? And I said, people. And they laughed at me and they said, no, you need to narrow your audience. I thought about it and I said, no, you need to broaden yours. If you had any idea how Cellercise can affect the blood chemistry within the body, you would recognize Cellercise isn't optional. It's absolutely essential. In addition to Cellercise, I teach a program we learned through Dr. Arthur C. Guyton in his book, Medical Physiology, that if you get on a Cellerciser and you run as fast as you can for 1 minute, you can increase the number of active white blood cells in the body, and they'll stay there for up to 1 hour. You can increase the number of active white blood cells by up to 15 times, and they'll stay there in the body for up to 1 hour. That's incredible, especially with what we're up against today. We want strong and healthy circulation. We want a very efficient immune system, and Cellercise helps to affect the immune system as well. There's a great deal more, and I encourage you, if you want to know more about Cellercise, please visit our website at cellercise.com, and if you have any questions at all, feel free to give me a call. What we're going to do now is we're going to read some customer reviews and then answer some questions that people have had that they've sent me, as well as questions that you will be posing online. I've got Brooklyn in the background. She's helping to handle and will present questions to me that I can go through and help answer. Cellercise is for all ages, all age groups. Balance and equilibrium has little or nothing to do with age. It's a physiological function. Nobody is born with it. We challenge the balance mechanism. Movement up and down challenges vestibular balance. Doing different movements while we're bouncing challenges proprioceptors. And we've been able to improve balance at all ages. Literally. I had a lady call me up. She'd been on the Cellerciser for 3.5 weeks, and she called up to brag. She said, Mr. Hall, you should have seen me yesterday. I was on top of my rooftop repairing my own shingles, and you should have seen the neighbors. She was 91 years of age. We had a lady a couple of years ago during Christmas was hanging up her Christmas lights. She was on the ladder outside, and she lost her balance. She had a fence that separated her house from the fence on the other side of her property. And as she was falling, she was going to fall on top of this pointed fence. So she leapt from the ladder over the fence, landed on the ground, rolled, stood up, and was very excited because in her mid to late 50s, she says, there is no way I could have done that before Cellercise. It's interesting how our performance, when we feel better, when our body is performing better, when it's circulating better, when our cells are stronger, healthier, and more efficient, we feel stronger and healthier and more efficient. And one of the other benefits of Cellercise, and I've said this for 30 years, is it's fun, it's easy, it's efficient, it's convenient, it's economical, it's safe, it's portable, and it provides results. And that's the bottom line. As good as the machine and the equipment is, and we have people that have been using it now for over 20, 25 years, and the equipment is in excellent condition, and they've sent us some wonderful customer reviews about it. As good as the equipment is, the objective is to help you reach your goal and your health and fitness objectives. And so we created what's called the Mr. Rebounder app. And the Mr. Rebounder app has over 30 pre-made routines that you can choose from for beginning, intermediate, advanced, seniors. It's all on this. Many years ago, it was 8 years ago when I started on this crusade to create an app. It was designed to help people based upon whatever level they were at. I've been asked for years, why don't you do a video that everybody can follow along with? Well, that's not always fair to everybody else that may be just starting off and not able to follow along effectively. So I created a program that literally gives you the opportunity of being able to create your own program. You go back to the home. So we got beginning, intermediate, advanced, seniors, or literally you can create your own workout. So you can change the background if you want to be in a park, or you want to be in the mountains, or in a forest, or at the beach, or by a lake, or in an urban area. You've got all kinds of backgrounds. But to give you kind of an idea of how it works, if you hit advanced, it's going to come up with all these different programs within the advanced section. One of the ones that my family likes to do is the number 2 or number 3 over. It's called the second weight loss program. And it burns calories. It's very, very intense, but it's almost 20 minutes long in that routine. We have programs that start at 2 minutes. But this particular one, when you hit it, you've got all these various different movements. It'll tell you what the movement is. And, that's just the health of the baby bounce, is what we call it. And that's the warm-up. That's the best one that we do to help stimulate circulation, the thyroid, the adrenals, the endocrine system. Everything is gently being massaged through that movement up and down. But when we start, we've got all the options. We were talking about the background images, so you can pick some very pretty, nice background images and change it on any one of the pre-made routines, as well as a routine that you might want to create. But when I hit start, we can play music that's part of the app. You can pick from country music to rock music to pop music to electronic music to there's all kinds. Or you can mute the actual music on the unit or on the app so that you can play your own music, which is very, very common. What we like to do in our home is we'll turn on a television program or show, and we'll turn on the app, and every time it goes to another movement, it dings. So you can see the movement. This movement here is for the internal organs, liver, kidney, spleen, gallbladder, pancreas, adrenals, loosening up the lower back. And there's over 30 different movements that you can adapt, and you can control the time, the intensity, the amount that you want to do. So that was the purpose of the app, and it is gaining more and more in popularity. We've got many more modules that we're working on providing for you, so you can customize your app even more. For those who buy the app right now, you get the app. It's discounted. It's only $89.95 for a full year. It's $49.95 right now. You buy it in at that price, your costs will never go up. So you'll always have a yearly cost of what it is, and you've got over 30 different routines, and it will continue to grow. So, and you can create your own routine simply by hitting the button here, going up and taking a look at adding the movements. It gives you all these different movements. It will show you what the movements are, what they do, and again, it's convenient. But what I tell people again, why work out when you can play in? Play on it. It works on you. It's all weight bearing, but it eliminates up to 7/8 of the ballistic impact or jar to your skeletal system compared to typical aerobic impact sports. So that's one of our products, and you can find more information on it at mrrebounder.com. That's MrRebounder.com. It can be used for anybody that has mini trampolines, but it was designed for the Cellerciser. The Cellerciser has resistance as well as G-forces. If it's too soft, then it doesn't pump the circulation efficiently or create a weight-bearing exercise on the cell membranes. It doesn't have a lot to do with the height of the jump at all. When you're jumping high, you're just floating. Your body's not really doing anything. I tell people, if you want to jump high, go get a big trampoline. They're for tricks. Now you can jump high and do tricks. The work of the Cellerciser is kept close to the mat and the springs. That's where the cells are expanding and contracting. That's where all the work is taking place. That's where the valves are opening and shutting. That's where you have the intensity. It's the intensity that causes the body to adapt by becoming stronger and healthier and working more efficiently. And we can increase the intensity as we get better, and we do so on the Cellerciser. So there's many different techniques, many different routines. Now we've also created, and it's brand new, and it's now available, and you can order them. They're being shipped. We sold out the first time we introduced them, but they'll be available again now. Next week they're shipping out. I went down to the factory today, and they're made in the United States, and I took a look, and they were soldering and working and putting all of these units together, and it is our Cellerciser monitor. The Cellerciser monitor is user-friendly, very easy. You don't have to be an electronic whiz. It's simple. You can attach it right to the unit, just like that. This is what it looks like. It has a simple button that you turn on, and it will show, that's an intensity bar that you saw come up. It will tell you the amount of time that you're actually on the unit. It will tell you the number of bounces that you have during the course of your exercise routine, and through an algorithm that our technicians develop, it shows you the number of calories burned. So it's real simple to use. You just hit the button, it turns on, and as you bounce up and down, you'll see the green monitor come up. And as you increase the intensity, then you've got a lot more of the green lights. And so it turns around, it's very user-friendly. You can just set it there, and you can look down and see the light going up. You can see the number of calories that you're working on burning, and it's very, very easy. It can fit on any mini trampoline, any rebounder, and anybody that uses it can jump on and turn it on and off. Okay, so what I'd like to do now, we're going to read a couple customer reviews I'll comment on them a little bit, and then we're going to read some questions. I'll do a little demonstration as well. And for those of you who are new to Cellercise, we've got a movement. And if this particular program has been shared with you, please understand it's because somebody cares about you. And we're one great big Cellercise family. It's not just about the product. It's about helping you get results. And I'm on the phone all day long. So that's my joy, is helping people reach their greater health potential. We all have one. And there are so many different movements that we can do on the Cellerciser that if it's been shared with you, it's because people know that you may have an interest. And until you try it, you're really not going to know. But once you try Cellercise, it will more than likely become one of your best friends for the rest of your life. Starting off with the gentle baby bounce, doing the hip rock for the hips, where the hips drop into the mat, but you're really working the muscles on both sides of the hip, doing the gentle twist, as we shared earlier, doing the thighs, the knees, the jumbo walk. This is intense. It uses the biggest muscles of the body. They have the greatest demand for fuel. So it helps increase metabolism as well as burn the calories, altering the angle of our body in different positions. If we're jogging and we tilt backwards a little bit, all these muscles are now tense. That's an isometric. We add weight to it, it becomes an isotonic. So it's how I built up my stomach muscles. Kicking the feet out leverages more weight throughout this area, working on the waist and the hips, side to side. When I come down with all that weight, that's really working those muscles. The lower back and the buttocks, kicking our legs out behind us. And this helps to lift, tighten, and tone the whole back side. The ski patrol, which we talked about, and a technique that I designed that helps to open up the bronchial tubes in the lungs and gets oxygen to the other 1/3 of the lung that most people don't even know how to do, and because of shallow breathing. And this one is a literal exercise. It helps increase diaphragmatic breathing. It helps people who are singers and performers, radio announcers. I want you to listen to my voice because it opens up the larynx. I didn't know it would do that. I was just trying to clear out some paint fumes in my lungs one night, and I noticed over the course of about a week that the wheeziness within the bronchial tubes was gone. For those of you who have been with us, you know that last month I had the COVID-19. It went into my lungs. I ended up with a fever for over a week, a lot of fluid in the lungs, pneumonia. But I did shallow breathing techniques because I couldn't breathe deep. And every time I did it, I didn't exactly like it, but when I would do these short breaths, within 5 minutes, I was coughing up phlegm or fluid. So I was literally pumping the fluid out of my lungs while my body was going through the process of fighting it and recovering from it. But I want you to listen to my voice as well when I'm done moving up and down. But it goes like this. You stand up, breathe in through your mouth, come down, breathe out through your mouth. It's not a meditation. It's an exercise. It's a breathing exercise. It's designed to open up bronchial tubes and lungs and exercise it without having to go out and doing a lot of long distance running or swimming. So it goes like this, and do it gently, and don't do too much when you first begin because it'll feel like the lungs have had a workout. They feel sensitive. So 8, 9 times is really good. And then you can build up, but it goes like this. And when I'm done, you can hear the difference in the voice. It literally opens up the bronchial tubes and the lungs. And it's always fun for me to be able to work with singers and performers and have them get up on stage and sing and then do the movement up and down and then have them sing again and watch their face. It's like, whoa. I said, well, yeah, but like I said, it works. You have to experience it. We give people a 30-day money-back guarantee. We want you to reach your greater health potential. Okay, so Kathy, December 30th, she writes, I absolutely love the Cellerciser. Update since I started Cellercising before Christmas. It's embarrassing to say, but the last 17 years exercise was not in my vocabulary. So when I discovered Dave Hall and the Cellerciser, I got hopeful that I could get my physical health back. With all that said, I had to start slow. With the simple start of baby health bounces, my results have already begun to show. We have great days ahead. No more dizzy room spinning when I lay down. And for people that have vertigo, I haven't known personally anybody, once they've started Cellercising, if they kept consistent with it, within a month, hasn't had a dramatic improvement or alleviated it altogether, the vertigo. There's so many things happening with this vestibular balance, the proprioceptors, the brain activity. Up to 90% of brain activity is being stimulated as we're doing these different movements up and down on the Cellerciser. The brain moves up and down in the skull initially, and then the connective tissue surrounding it firms up. I had a lady wrote me a beautiful testimonial. She said, David, as I was hitting midlife, I felt like everything was headed south. She says, now that I've been Cellercising, I feel like everything's headed north again. There's some truth to that. When we stop bouncing up and down, like we did when we were children, gravity is constantly pulling down. And so as those connective tissues get weaker, the body starts to drop, especially from the inside out. But as we apply more weight, same thing with a muscle, it tightens and tones. It becomes more resistant to that weight. Well, that Cellercise is not just working from the outside in. Cellercise is working from the inside out. Energy return, my ability to bounce and to do routines is awesome. Now I am following Dave's weekly routines that he made. Love his style of coaching and information he gives. My husband and I are truly grateful for this simple exercise help to support our healthy aging life. Thank you, Kathy. And remember, cells don't get old. They're always replacing themselves. We can strengthen and improve the efficiency of a cell at any age. All right, Marie writes, since I've started Cellercising, my tinnitus has gone way down. My muscles are stronger and longer, and I'm more positive in my outlook on life. Thank you, Marie. And, you know, the movement up and down helps to move fluid past the stirrup, the smallest bone of our ear, and stimulates and improves circulation. As we improve circulation, we help to reduce inflammation in the body. We help to open up circulatory channels so the body parts and functions can work more efficiently. Blockages within our circulatory systems, especially over prolonged periods of time, can affect our overall performance and quality of health. Okay, the Cellerciser is the real deal, and it truly does offer the benefits that Dave Hall talks about. My husband has a low-functioning gallbladder, and it will at times cause him much discomfort. Every morning he gets up and bounces for 15 minutes. This morning his gallbladder was causing him much discomfort, yet he still decided to bounce. Guess what? 3 exclamation points. The pain went away. 5 exclamation points. He couldn't believe it. Also, his varicose veins are not as prominent. And that's something exciting about the Cellerciser too. The weakest area of circulation in the body is in the lower extremities. It's the furthest area from the heart. So as we go on our day-to-day activities, it's harder for the heart to pump trapped blood proteins. We can get water retention, swelling, edema in the lower extremities. As we move up and down, we assist the heart in pumping through the one-way valves that circulation back up to the heart. So it helps improve circulation. I have 5 children, and because of that, I at times will sneeze and pee. Just a little, and sorry for the TMI. This is not unusual, this is common. I've been bouncing faithfully since I joined the I Jump Instead Patreon, and they're great, a great group of supporters and people that have some great exercise programs online. And it says, which has been since the end of August, and I've had no issues with incontinence. I swear, rebounding on a Cellerciser works. 4 exclamation points. My husband and I have used a cheap rebounder in the past and never had these results. Maria. Thank you, Maria. One of the advantages of the Cellerciser is its weight bearing on not just vanity muscles, but on sphincter muscles throughout the body too. So as sphincter muscles have more weight on them, you can do an isometric Kegel type movement. And as you're doing that, you're also bouncing, it's applying more weight to that muscle. And we've had people that have had some pretty tremendous results from that. Case writes, love my Cellerciser. We've had it for almost 15 years, and it gets better and better. I only wish I had the Trifold Pro so that I could travel with it. Thank you for creating such a great quality product. And thank you, Case, for sharing. All right. One more, and then we're going to answer some questions. Jennifer writes, I've had my Cellerciser for a few months now, and I'm absolutely loving it. I had a couple of questions that I hope you could answer. I saw a video where you had some folks on stage, and you had them hold their arms out, and you were able to make all of them tip over by pressing down on their arms. But after they jumped on the Cellerciser, they were suddenly able to resist. Why was that? Not only were they able to resist the bodybuilder, he fell over the first time. When I did it the second time, he was holding my entire body weight off the ground. I was hanging on his arms, and he was just like, because it works. Cellercise is literally creating balance in the body, but it's strengthening the entire muscular system, working with it collectively. When we have imbalances in the body, those imbalances affect our performance. And carrying those imbalances over an extended period of time can also create additional health problems. One of the advantages of the Cellerciser is it helps to get rid of imbalances. The movement up and down is stimulating the thyroid, the adrenals, the endocrine system, but it's also helping to balance out muscles. So if the hips are out of alignment a little bit, one hip is higher than the other, which is very common, but you start to bounce up and down equally over time, those hips can drop. In fact, you can do it very quickly. We demonstrate it. As we move up and down, the hips drop, muscles move to support your natural alignment. Now, I love chiropractors. Chiropractors and I, we work well together. Chiropractors work with the body, helping the body to perform the way the body knows how to perform more efficiently. And when a chiropractor makes an adjustment, the muscles are not used to that new alignment. And they are the culprit. That pulls you back out of alignment again, causing you to have another adjustment. It's a very long, lengthy process toward reaching your greater health potential. So I work a lot with chiropractors, and I have for many, many years. When a chiropractor makes an adjustment, when it's appropriate, they'll have their patient get on the Cellerciser and gently move up and down. And you can feel all the muscles throughout the body expanding and contracting around the new alignment. So the muscles that are tighter help to loosen up to balance with the muscles on the other side. And it expedites the healing process. And many of our chiropractors have patients that they would adjust or go to adjust and say, boy, you've held your alignment very, very well. And then the patient will educate the doctor on the benefits of Cellercise. There's a great many different approaches we can take on the Cellerciser, and I share many of those with chiropractors. So thank you for sharing that. So yes, you're stronger at and it's fun because many of our customers will do this routine with their family members, and it's always fun to hear about it, because one of two things is going to happen after they have Cellercise for just a few minutes, and they're much more balanced. And I tell people, if you're involved with yoga, or if you like the martial arts, or any gymnastics, any athletic activity, the bouncing up and down is going to help you utilize your skills and your your talent more effectively. It will. It just does. And I'll accept any challenge to prove to you that you will be able to perform better after a few minutes of Cellercising than you would if you didn't. And it's fun to do that. So when you do it, they'll put their arms in front, their elbows into the side, and I just push down on the hands, and they're generally they just step right forward. And it's, podiatrists often will want to give you a foot insert to help stop that. But the bones and muscles in the feet will move to help support your natural alignment. And that's, again, another benefit of Cellercising. That's why I take my shoes off. I don't want my feet to be aligned to the shoe because it's restrictive. I want my foot to be flexible to my alignment and my movements. And over a period of time, that can help and has helped people with plantar fasciitis and other foot issues because it helps the foot become more flexible again. All right, so do you have any studies that link the benefits of rebounding to fighting cancer? And do you have any specific exercises that you've recommended to folks with cancer who are able to be active? And yeah, Dr. Morton Walker actually wrote an article, and there's been many, and we've got customers as well. He wrote an article published in the Townsend Letter for Doctors in 1995, where he talked about Sam Kofsky and his fight with cancer and how he wasn't expected to live. It took most people, the kind of cancer he had. But he did the rebounding, and Dr. Morton Walker is a customer of mine for many years. We traveled around and lectured together. He said that Sam actually overcame the cancer and became the assistant dean of a university. Incredible story. So how do we do it? Well, we want a good, healthy immune system. And if we do what Dr. Arthur C. Guyton has taught us, we get on a Cellerciser and we run as fast as we can for just 1 minute. We can increase the number of active white blood cells by 10 to 15 times. It's their job to seek out and destroy the viruses, germs, bacteria, fungus, dead cells, mutant cells, and other cancers or foreign invaders. So just getting to the point where you can really sprint and keep it up for about a minute, that's going to be a great aerobic exercise. And that will activate up to your white blood cells up to 15 times so that they're working more efficiently. And that's what we want to do. We don't have to wait to go through a fever. If you're feeling like you're coming down with a cold or you've been exposed to something, you can Cellercise to increase your immune response without waiting. Okay. My father and father-in-law both ran when they were younger and now have knee issues from all the running. Has rebounding helped those with bad knees? Yeah, I love working with people and physical therapists and doctors with regards to the knee. Generally, what I have found is that most knee problems, hip problems, back problems, shoulder problems occur from either weaknesses or injury in the supporting muscles and ligaments around the joint. When those supporting muscles and ligaments have been compromised, we get more weight on the joint and we can wear out the joint, and it's not comfortable. But when we start to restructure and strengthen the supporting muscles and ligaments around the knee and other parts of the body, it supports it more, so we're able to retain more fluid between the joints, and very, very often those issues just slowly fade away. A good example is Robert Gent, and I've talked about him numerous times over the years. He was a semi-professional athlete in the 70s. He never lettered when he went to Brigham Young University, but he won so many different events after he graduated that Brigham Young sent him an honorary degree. The guy was remarkable. When I met him, his knees were not working well. His back was a problem. He wasn't competing and a little depressed. And I asked him, I said, Robert, what have you done to restructure and strengthen your supporting muscles and ligaments? And he looked at me like, what? I said, well, let me show you. So I spent some time working with him. few months later, he goes out for the Senior Games Pentathlon. He wins first place in all of North America, considered the best on the continent. In his 60s, he leg presses 880 pounds. And he sends me a copy of the article that says best on the continent, holding his medals, and talking about, he says, David has been absolutely miraculous, a positive influence that Cellercise has had on my body. I tried every strength, Pilates, stretching routine available. Nothing like your triumph has helped me to get my muscle and joint health back. And he says his wife and he were excited about what Cellercise had done. So many benefits to that. And yes, on the knees, standing on the Cellerciser, just walking in place, that's the front part of the knee. The jogger run, more intense, that burns weight and calories. Rocking side to side is a gentle movement for the knees. Jumping side to side is a little more intense. And if you like to go skiing, you can literally get the same effect preparing yourself for ski season. Okay, you still have the meter units for the Cellerciser. The meter units are what we were just demonstrating here, and I asked our manufacturer about those earlier, and he says, I said, hi Dale, are we still on track for having units to ship out next week? I'm getting ready to go on Facebook Live, and our customers have been asking. His response, yes, we should be able to deliver units next week. Great, I'll let them know. Now you know. Okay, do you still have the units? Yes, they're not, well, they sold out, but they're not sold out now. Go ahead and pre-order, and you'll get in line. I'd suggest pre-ordering as soon as possible if you really want one, because there's a lot of component parts that go to it. But it's a good quality unit. And that bracket is really flexible and very durable. Okay. Oh, all right. This is interesting. I would like to say that I like to hear the soft squeak that my Cellerciser makes, because it is a sound of progress to me. At one time, I couldn't bounce hard enough to make a noise. I will take signs of progress wherever I can find it. That's a cute statement. And I want you to notice something on my Cellerciser, because our competition, they do some very deceptive advertising in saying that the Cellerciser is squeaky. Well, anytime steel rubs against steel, yes, it's squeaky. But all you have to do is put a drop of oil at both ends of each spring, and over time, that will polish the steel. So as it breaks in, it becomes quieter and quieter and quieter. I want you to listen to this unit. And as I bounce on it, there's no squeaking. So, and your units are just like mine. So if you have questions, give me a call. On our website, we actually, under our care and maintenance section, you can see how I actually prepare each unit after I receive one. So, does the Apple Watch work with rebounding? Well, it'll help you with your heart rate, but it's not going to be very effective in counting the number of steps. That's why we created the monitor. But we have a future product that we're going to be introducing for those who have Apple Watches that will be able to interface with an Apple Watch, and that's in the works. So, just got my Cellerciser today and watching your Ultimate DVD and loving it. I can immediately jump higher and feel so much easier on my limbs versus an inexpensive Amazon one that is now placed in my garage that was so stiff. I'm loving it so far, looking forward to seeing the results soon. When bouncing, should the knees always be slightly bent, or can they be locked at times? Like on the health bounce, Should I lock my knees or slightly bent? That's a really good question. And those two different approaches, and for really kind of two different purposes. If you're bending up and down at the knee, that's fine. Or having the knees bent, you're going to work more of the knee area. Nothing wrong with that. When you have your legs straight and you're lifting your heels up and down, now you're working the calf muscle. The calf muscle has been called the second heart. It's important we have good, strong, healthy calf muscle. So when the muscle flexes, it helps to create pressure to feed that circulation back up to the heart. So yeah, Cellercise, it can strengthen and build up the calf muscle. It won't give you really big calf muscles, but it will give you strong and healthy calf muscles, and that's helpful too. Okay. Because Cellerciser is more intense, is it good to give more days between the same exercises to allow for recovery? There are so many movements that are easy to alternate. You're welcome to alternate, but you can Cellercise several times a day. Cellercise doesn't tear down to build up. It takes the weakest of cells, the weakest of them. There's no tearing involved. There's G-forces. It's just sending a message to the cell that causes the cell to fortify itself. The movement up and down on a Cellerciser, when you first start off, go easy. Short periods of time while you're building up are probably better than a long period of time. Drink lots of water, because remember, it's like an internal scrub brush. It can break up heavy metals, toxins, poisons, preservatives, chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, formaldehydes, drugs, all these things have been exposed over the years that can accumulate within tissue spaces of the body, within the cells, within the ligaments and tendons of the body, muscles. And as we're moving up and down, we're starting to shake those apart and break them up. It's important to drink a lot of water because you don't want those depositing somewhere else in the body. And if I had more time, I'd tell you a story on that. Maybe sometime we will, but it's helpful. Okay, I'm going to tell you. We had a gentleman who had been involved with drugs in the 70s. And I told him about Cellercise. He got one for himself and his family, and they all started using it. A couple of weeks go by, I called him up, and I said, "How's it going?" He said, "Oh, great, kids, everybody loves it. I can't do it. It doesn't work for me. I've been so sick when I get on that thing." And I said, "What are you doing on it?" He says, "Well," he told me all this. I said, "That's great. You're drinking a lot of water, right?" And he said, "Oh, I don't drink much water." "Really? So all you're doing is freeing what's inside your body so it can manifest itself somewhere else in your body?" I said, "Do me a favor. Do it again, but drink lots of water." He did it. I called him a number of weeks later and talked to him about it. He said it is absolutely mandatory for his entire family to Cellercise before they go to school, before they start the day. It had made a night and day difference on him. He's one of several types of testimonials like that. So yes, drink the water and enjoy the benefits. Okay. Read that one. So where do I focus the weight? Okay, where do I focus the weight? On my balls of feet or heels, or does it matter when bouncing? Depends on the movement. If you're doing the rocking side to side, obviously you're flat-footed. If you're doing the jamba run, you can move forward, but it's a lot easier if you lean forward because it takes the weight off of the thighs, puts it on the back, and the back's not doing anything. On a Cellerciser, you can't do this on the ground. You'd hurt yourself. But on a Cellerciser, you can keep your back straight, we can keep our feet flat, and we can run really, really fast. And that is extremely intense. If we're doing the kick-outs, we're coming down pretty flat-footed. If we're jogging in place, well, we can do it more on the balls of our feet. When we're doing the baby bounce or health bounce, we're lifting the heels up and down. So again, it varies depending on what type of movement you're doing. What oil types do you recommend for oiling whenever, if it is needed? Olive oil, avocado oil, or more like carb oil types? Well, we've had people use Crisco oil, we've had people use essential oils. We've had, I like to use 3-in-1. The reason is it's owned by a company called WD-40, but it's called 3-in-1, THREEANDONE, multi-purpose oils, and penetrant. When you put that, it's got a good viscosity, so it holds up well. And I'll put a drop of oil on both ends of each ring, get on a new unit, bounce a little bit, and then do it one more time the first time. And then I'll allow that oil and the movement to polish the steel. And that's just what I do. Brooklyn, you said there's some questions over there. People come up.
Can I lay on my back with knees to chest, or is it too hard on the spine?
Can I lay on the unit and bounce up and down on the back? I don't do that, so I don't know. I don't have any. I don't have an answer for that. Bouncing up and down on the back. Yeah, let us know. I don't know what that would accomplish compared to some of the other movements, but yeah, let us know what you think. Any others?
How much should you push yourself when just starting out? Should you only do the baby bounce for 2 weeks or incorporate other moves?
When you first start off, baby bounce is the most important. Depending on what level you're at, you can do the baby bounce, you can do the hip rock. That's very gentle, but helps work on the hips. The gentle twist. There's a lot of techniques you can do when you're first beginning that are open. You can do the isometric for building up the arms. You're bouncing while you're doing the isometric movements. And I would probably avoid, at least initially, some of the leverage techniques where you want to build up those muscles and ligaments first. But yeah.
Did your resting heart rate go up during your COVID?
Yes. Oh, yeah. When I had my COVID, did your resting heart rate go up? Oh boy. Yeah, I watched that quite a bit. It went up quite high, and it was fighting it, and I had the fevers and the chills, and it's not a good experience. But I believed in the Cellerciser, and I did as I mentioned, the short breathing exercises, and I'd either go lay back down or I'd work. It didn't stop me. There was just a few days there where it was not really comfortable at all. But now my heart rate has gone back down. It's about 56 resting heart rate, and I'm actually. We don't know a lot about this thing yet and what it does, but I feel 100% recovered. I feel really, really good, and I want everybody else to feel the same way. And our hearts go out to those of you who are struggling with it or lost loved ones. We lost our doctor. He didn't Cellercise, but it was a doctor in our town next door that passed away this last week from the COVID. So it's something we're all struggling with. We want to be as strong and healthy as we can. Our body functions work as healthy as they can. But the heart rate went down, the oxygen levels went back up, and but what was interesting with me compared to other people, I heard people that said that they lost their sense of smell or their sense of taste. I'm the odd duck in that, I guess, because my sense of taste and sense of smell were probably close to 10 times greater than I ever remember them being. I would walk by somebody, I could smell them very, very clearly. If I tasted something, it was like when I was a kid. I mean, the flavor was just bursting. I couldn't believe it. So it affects people differently. And that's, I don't know why it affected me that way, but it did.
Any exercises to target snoring, sleep apnea, or acid reflux?
any exercise for snoring, sleep apnea, or acid reflux. The palate of the mouth is interesting. As muscles get weak, they sag. As connective tissues get weak, they drop. We have had people who have told us that the movement up and down improved their sleep apnea, and it improved the snoring. So I don't know why, but we don't have any research to document this, but we have customer reviews that do. As we're moving up and down, the palate has weight on it too. So rather than just falling, it can firm up because the tissue, that's what it does. Acid reflux, we know that the sphincter muscles, it's weight bearing to strengthen the sphincter muscle. The gentle twisting exercise here has been very effective for bladder, it massages, again, the liver, kidney, spleen, gallbladder, pancreas, adrenals, colon, intestines, helps to loosen the lower back. It's the second most important activity I teach people can do on the Cellerciser. So, anything else? Ricky?
Will jumping help to shrink a thyroid goiter?
Will it help to jumping shrink a thyroid goiter? Well, I don't know. I know it stimulates circulation. I know a lady who wrote me a beautiful customer review saying that she was on Synthroid. She cut her Synthroid in half because of the benefits of Cellercise. We don't know. We do know that Cellercise helps to increase circulation. It helps to break up blockages, stress, and tension. Great if you want to sleep better at night, get on the Cellerciser and just gently move up and down for about 2 to 3 minutes. Relax your shoulders, back, and buttocks. Just relax and feel what's going on. It's wonderful feeling. Great way to burp a baby too, by the way. All our kids grew up on the Cellerciser. We're still learning. We're still learning about Cellercise, but we'll keep you posted as customer reviews continue to come in. And I want to encourage everyone, if you're getting the benefits of the Cellerciser, write and let us know. If you have questions or concerns, please write and let us know. Our objective here, again, is to help you achieve results. That's my joy, is when I can help you reach that greater health potential. Anything else, Ricky?
Are there specific routines for weight loss? I have only just started using the Mr. Rebounder app.
Specific routines for weight loss. Yes, we have the weight loss app. Of course, that's intense, but that's a good way. Cells need oxygen to burn calories and utilize nutrients. And so increasing oxygen in the bloodstream is one of the techniques that we teach, and that's done by the breathing technique. So we prime the body with the breathing. And when we're done priming the body, then we can do the exercise routines, such as the Jamba walk or the Jamba run, and we do repetitions of it. So when we're done with one set, and we gently bounce up and down, and while we pump oxygen and circulation back to the thighs, priming them for the next set. And that's one of the advantages of Cellercise. There's basically 3 ways of losing weight naturally. And that's diet, increasing metabolism, and burning calories faster than we're taking them in. Well, the last 2 is what we focus on. The intensity of that aerobic run is unlike anything you've probably ever done. You cannot do it on the ground. Football players do something similar, but they kind of cheat. They lean forward. They get up on the balls of the feet, and they run real fast. Well, on the Cellerciser, we don't cheat. And football players, this is excellent for them too, is we keep our back straight and our feet flat. And we do it this way. You will feel a lot more burn, a lot faster doing that than you will if you're leaning forward doing it. And that really builds up and strengthens the thighs and the knees. Any others come in, Becky?
What can I do if I have a broken ankle? I'm so sad I can't jump at the moment.
Oh, what can I do if I have a broken ankle? I'm so sad I can't jump at the moment. Okay, here's what happened to me. When I broke my ankle in 2 places, I was supposed to be in Guam the following week. And I didn't have, I still wanted to go. And when I went to the doctors, they took a look at my ankle and they said, well, we need to put a cast on this. I said, that's okay, but I'm going to be in Guam next week. And they looked at me like, no, you can't have a cast at 30,000 feet up in the air because it would swallow. You just can't do that. I said, well, what else can we do? And they said, well, we can give you a boot, but they didn't recommend it. I said, well, let's wrap it well and give me a boot. Most miserable trip I have ever taken. I had my foot up and down in the bulkhead the whole way. But I got there and spoke at the University of Guam and at another event. And while I'm hopping around in my boot, I demonstrated, opened up the Cellerciser, brought people from the audience, worked with them. It was well received. But what I did within a week of having broken it is I put my foot over the side and I bounced up and down. Now, when I was in Guam, I had my crutches, and so I used those for balance. But I bounced up and down just like this. The movement up and down helps to increase circulation. And as I increase the circulation, that helps reduce inflammation and promotes healing. Doctors know bones and muscles heal faster and grow stronger when exposed to some stress. That's the idea behind the walking cast. Well, the movement up and down on the Cellerciser, it ended up healing my ankle so fast that the doctors became my customers and have remained so. They're just wonderful, wonderful people. But that's what I did. Now, again, I don't know the nature of your situation, and in everything that I'm saying, please, if you have a health or medical condition at all, consult with a doctor before you begin any exercise program, including Cellercise. We want you to have a good, healthful experience. Anything else, Ricky?
I have bladder inflammation. Can it help to heal cystitis in the bladder?
Cystitis in the bladder, inflammation, that's can be caused by a virus or bacteria.
UTI.
Yeah, okay. Well, what I can say is this gentle twisting, that may not feel very good to begin with. The gentle twisting increases circulation. Again, on that one, I'd ask your doctor or health practitioner, you may need something to help kill off that virus. We don't want it to spread. We do want to increase the immune system's ability to fight it off too. So, good question. No easy answer that I can give you at this point, other than just say that circulation helps increase circulation, improve immune system function, and we can target it by doing certain things. Now, whether that's right for you or not, I honestly, I don't know.
Is there any known impact to the lens implants of cataract patients?
Yeah, there's no impact. She's asking if there's any effect to somebody who's had lens implants to replace cataract surgery. The Cellerciser, once it's healed, the Cellerciser has less jarring on it than walking on the ground. The ground doesn't give. There's more jarring being affected in the body. There are G-forces, but you don't have the jarring impact. It's the jarring impact that's going to cause problems, not Cellercise. So, no, I don't believe it's going to cause any problems with it. But again, consult with your doctor if you're concerned.
Are older bars compatible with the newer rebounders?
Are older bars compatible with the newer rebounders? Well, yes, they are. We've got two balance bars. We've got the new streamlined balance bar, and we've got the half-full balance bar, which is a little wider. The wider bar takes up a little more space, and it works just fine. I like the streamlined balance bar because I've got a little bit more room to work around. Both bars will work. If you have a half-full balance bar that's wider, and you want to have a narrow balance bar, you don't have to buy a whole new balance bar. I designed it so that you could just take and purchase the top piece here. You'll keep the side pieces of your half-full balance bar, put the new top piece on, it pulls it in, you now have a streamlined balance bar. It's a lot less expensive doing it that way than just buying a whole new bar.
Suggestions for hip joint pain?
Suggestions for hip joint pain? Gentle movement up and down initially, rocking side to side after you've warmed up the tissue. Oh, I've got some great stories on this one. The gentle twist, and then by keeping the hip straight ahead and just twisting in the hip socket area. As you're gently moving up and down, It helps to open up that whole hip area and increase circulation to the hip. It's had tremendous results for people. Any others?
Exercises for muscle gain.
Exercising for muscle gain. Okay, I'm going to be kicking my shoes on and off. All right, so it's all weight bearing. If you want to work on the arms, we do the resistance movements. I count to 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, and then down to 2, 3, 4. So I'll do that. If you do about 20 of them, you'll feel it. And then you do the same thing on the other side. You're not tearing down. You're taking your own body weight and you're increasing it through the G forces, but not by tearing down. You're just building up. And for stomach muscles, you can do the sit and bounce. Many of you have probably seen me do that. I'll do it this way because of this. Where you sit down, you can support your back initially. You bounce up and down like this. This is all being done with stomach muscles, going cheek to cheek, or in and out, or up and down. All of these movements are on the DVD as well as in our Mr. Rebounder app. So, and they build up muscles. I like, preferably, I like to build the flatter stomach muscles. So they don't stand out as much, but they're strong. Anything else? We're good. All right. Why did I do this video? This one is a tool for all of you who understand the benefits of Cellercise so that you can share it with those that you care about. Again, the whole premise of this is what can we do to have a stronger, healthier, more efficient life with more energy, better performance, just better quality. And we know, those of us who do this, what this can do. It's been called the closest thing to the fountain of youth yet devised by man. And I'm 64 years of age, but I'm still running around like I'm in my 20s. And I'm enjoying a great quality of life. And it's interesting because when I was 30 years ago promoting this, my peers, a lot of them, really didn't listen to me. Now that I'm 64 and I'm still running around like I'm in my 20s, now they're starting to listen. You don't have to wait that long. If you have an opportunity to try the Cellerciser, please give us a call, and we'd be more than happy to work with you and have you experience it. It isn't going to go away. Cellercise is here to stay. And I want to thank all of you. Again, remember, with Cellercise, you don't have to work out when you can play in. Thank you. God bless. Let's hope for a great new year. And in 2 weeks, let's do an exercise routine together. So we'll have you pull out your Cellercisers and we'll put together a little routine. Thank you again.